breathing disorders have exploded over the last 100 years. Asthma has gone up 548% and COPD by more than 4,000%. If you're waking up in the middle of the night in coughing spells that make you feel old and sick, or if you're gasping for air every time you need to climb a flight of stairs or just go for a walk, then you need to know, as bizarre as it sounds, this chart also shows exactly why you're struggling to breathe, as well as how to fix it. And you'll finally be able to take full, deep breaths without your chest clamping down in spasm of coughing. Just to be clear, it's not because of pollution or smog. In fact, nowadays we live in climate-controlled homes and offices that have more advanced air filters than any generation before us. While pollution levels in the US have actually been going down dramatically for decades, smoking is not to blame either, since the rate of smokers in America has declined dramatically since the 1960s. So what's going on here? Well, according to lung health researchers at Harvard and Johns Hopkins, the real culprit is something called stiff lungs, a condition where the tiny air sacs in your lung have lost their flexibility. They can no longer fully expand and contract with each breath, leaving you feeling as if you're sucking air through a straw, stopping you from fully inflating your lungs, no matter how hard you try. And the culprit is something so common and so unavoidable in our modern world that it's causing an outbreak of breathing problems, especially for people over the age of 50. The good news is there's now a quick and easy solution that can help you restore the elasticity of your lungs in as little as a few weeks. This revolutionary trick takes your lungs out of mucus production mode and puts them into clean air mode, giving you back the ability to take deep and satisfying breaths instead of spending each day coughing, gasping, and wheezing for air. Picture yourself taking a deep, satisfying breath that fills your lungs completely. Imagine being able to walk up a flight of stairs while chatting with your spouse, rather than pausing on each step with your lungs burning as you fight for oxygen. See yourself laughing freely at your kid or grandkid's soccer game, cheering them on with strong, powerful lungs, instead of having to stifle yourself mid-cheer as you descend into a mucus-filled coughing fit. Finally, get the peaceful night's sleep you desperately need. No more bolting up awake at 3 a.m. in a panic because your airways are blocked by gunky phlegm. This scientifically backed solution has already given over 79,000 people the ability to inhale deeply again after years of struggling for each breath. And I know it can help you too. Hey, I'm Frank Leonard, and inside this controversial video, I'm going to reveal the powerful African lung mist trick that my wife Carol used to eliminate her chronic cough, mucus, wheezing, chest tightness, and difficulty breathing. It's a trick that anyone, regardless of age or the severity of their lung condition, can start using immediately to clear their lungs of mucus and phlegm, drastically increase lung capacity, and sleep soundly through the night without waking up gasping for air, all while avoiding public coughing spells, boosting energy levels, and regaining the independence that comes with being able to take full deep breaths, where every breath you take feels crisp and effortless, and the constant embarrassing coughing becomes a distant memory. This African lung mist trick has nothing to do with expensive inhalers, nebulizers, or other medical devices, and you won't have to undergo exhausting breathing treatments. Instead, you can use this simple 5-second trick from the comfort of your own home. You don't even have to get up from your couch. Each time you use it, this 5-second African lung mist trick makes your lungs stronger, helps you breathe more easily, and significantly reduces your coughing throughout the day. And while I know these are some pretty monumental promises, I feel absolutely confident making them, because not only did this lung clearing secret work for my wife Carol after a mortifying incident during a church choir performance left her humiliated in front of our entire congregation, but this same 5-second African lung mist trick I'm about to share has now been used by more than 79,000 men and women from all walks of life. Folks who had been struggling with chronic lung issues, desperate for a solution, and who had previously felt hopeless because nothing else they tried had been able to provide the relief that they needed. Like John in Boston.
After trying the 5-second African lung mist, my life has drastically improved. I can breathe more easily, my coughing fits are almost non-existent, and I can even enjoy a good night's sleep. This simple trick has truly given me a new lease on life. Thank you so much.
And Thomas in Des Moines.
After 35 years of smoking, my lungs were a mess. Just walking to the mailbox left me gasping for air and reaching for my inhaler. At night, I'd wake up panicked because mucus blocked my airways, leaving me unable to breathe. And forget laughing. It always triggered massive coughing fits. I'd given up hope of ever breathing normally again. But after watching your video and taking your advice, I can inhale deeply without wheezing for the first time in years. I sleep through the night and have the energy to play with my grandkids. Thank you for giving me my life back.
Or Patrick in Miami.
I suffered from chronic coughing for 7 years. The lung mist trick has been a godsend. My breathing has improved and I feel more capable of doing my job without the constant fear of a coughing attack. Let me tell you, this trick is not just improving lives, it's saving them.
Now it's your turn to join these incredible folks by starting your journey towards better breathing and a healthier, happier, and more active life. You'll be amazed at how quickly your coughing subsides, no longer triggering gagging fits at the dinner table. You'll feel more energetic, confidently keeping up with family walks instead of lagging behind. Simple tasks like grocery shopping will no longer leave you wheezing and embarrassed. You'll finally achieve easy breathing and you'll be able to walk up flights of stairs without gasping for air. And perhaps more importantly, you'll have the peace of mind that your lungs and respiratory system are in the best condition they've been for years. So let's get started right now. Like I mentioned, my name is Frank Leonard. I'm 66 years old and I live in a quiet town in South Texas. My wife Carol is just a year younger and we've been happily married for 4 decades. But about 4 years ago, I started to notice these subtle changes in Carol. It began slowly at first, slight cough here, a soft wheeze there. And while it was easy to brush things off as nothing serious, soon the coughing became more frequent. I'd hear Carol violently hacking from the other room. She'd have to pause mid-conversation to stifle fits of raspy cough. And the slight wheeze had crept into her breathing even when she wasn't coughing. It was like a soft whistle sounding with each inhale and exhale. As the months went on, the coughing fits increased, sometimes lasting several minutes at a time. And simple tasks like climbing the stairs would leave Carol gasping desperately for air. She had to pause halfway up the steps, clinging onto the railing until the tightness in her chest eased. It wasn't long before Carol stopped joining me on our evening walks around the neighborhood. "You go ahead," she'd say with a sad smile. "I'll stay back and rest." Things were worst of all at night. I'd jolt awake to the sound of her frantic wheezing and gasping beside me. Her fingertips would be darkened from the lack of oxygen, and night after night of fitful sleep that left us both feeling exhausted and irritated. It was extremely frustrating, especially since we really tried everything: urgent care visits, specialists, medications, inhalers, breathing treatments, but nothing helped for more than a few days. We filled prescription after prescription for steroid inhalers and bronchodilator. And while some of those things helped a little at first, the effect would fade within hours, leaving her once again struggling for each breath, or complaining sheepishly of how terrible it felt to have this awful buildup of gunk in the back of her throat. Plus, when it came to some of those medications, the side effects were almost as bad as the coughing. Hand tremors, insomnia, mood swings from the steroids, yet none of it stopped the endless river of mucus flooding Carol's lungs. And out of desperation, we researched extreme solutions like experimental stem cell therapies. Carol's doctor even suggested implanting valves to reduce mucus buildup. But not only were these options very expensive, running anywhere from $50,000 to over $250,000, they were also either unproven or they came with an extremely serious risk of complications that threatened to leave Carol with collapsed lungs or on a ventilator for the rest of her life if anything went wrong. Over-the-counter cough syrups were useless or made her feel drugged. We bought pricey air purifiers and humidifiers that cost thousands of dollars, but nothing worked. Carol's lungs continued flooding with thick, sticky mucus that no drug or device could fix. And then came the day that broke my heart. It was the annual Christmas performance at our church. And while Carol had been an active member in the choir for years, over the previous year or two, her breathing issues had forced her to stop singing, which had really taken a toll on her. She loved to sing, but simply couldn't anymore without lapsing into painful coughing fits. So when the director asked if Carol could fill in to sing a solo of Silent Night, I was shocked she said yes. After all, even talking too much could trigger her wheezing. But Carol was determined. As the performance began, Carol's voice wavered at first. She had to pause between verses to catch her breath, but the longer she sang, the stronger her voice became. To my amazement, she made it through the first few group songs without an issue. Her voice rang out loud and pure, without faltering once. Then it was the time for her solo. She looked so happy and confident, prepared to fill the church with her solo rendition of Silent Night. Carol took a breath and opened her mouth, but she only managed to croak the first few lines, collapsing into a fit of harsh, raspy coughs. Her beautiful solo was engulfed by the sudden convulsive hacking, the dreadful sounds echoing through the silent church. I watched helplessly as Carol gasped and wheezed, unable to sing. The whole congregation looked in horror as the hacking noise from Carol's mouth echoed through the walls of the now otherwise silent church. It was so bad that the entire choir actually stopped in the middle of the performance, and people rushed over to her, unsure of what was going on. And from the pews, I even heard a little boy in the row behind me ask his mom if Carol was choking or if she was about to go to heaven. It was so awful, and all I could do was watch as they helped Carol off the stage. I never forget the look of humiliation on her face. She seemed defeated, broken, and the worst part is that in the days that followed, Carol wouldn't stop blaming herself, saying that she was a fool for thinking she could sing in public ever again, stating bitterly that she was the raspy Grinch who'd ruined Christmas for everyone, and refusing to leave the house at all, even to visit family or friends. It just broke my heart. And if you've ever been through something similar, I'm sure you can relate. You know that it isn't about coughing or wheezing. It's about losing your independence and your dignity. It's about the isolation, the loneliness, and the feeling of being helpless as your lungs betray you. I mean, there's nothing scarier than not being able to breathe. All I could do was pray to God for a miracle. And you know what? He really was listening to my prayers, because about a week after the choir incident, I was sitting at home staring blankly at the TV when I got a call on my phone from John, a member of our congregation. I wasn't sure why he was calling me so late and in the evening at first, but John quickly explained that it was about what had happened to Carol at church, and he said he wanted to offer his help. At first I felt pretty skeptical. What could John possibly do to help Carol? But there was something in his voice, a sense of urgency, and a touch of sincerity. So I agreed to meet him for coffee the next day. And little did I know that this meeting would change everything for Carol, you, and thousands of other people all across the country who suffer from lungs and breathing problems, because it ultimately led me to discover the remarkable 5-second African lung mist trick that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. This simple yet powerful breathing secret is what allowed Carol to rapidly clear her chronic cough, mucus, wheezing, and chest tightness, transforming her health and eliminating those humiliating coughing fits for good. And I'm certain this same scientifically backed discovery can work for you too. Just imagine being able to take a full, deep breath again without your chest tightening up, being able to play with your grandkids without getting out of breath, walking around your neighborhood, or going shopping without gasping for air, or sleeping soundly curled up next to your spouse instead of sitting up struggling for air. And finally, regaining your independence. Well, that's exactly what this 5-second lung mist trick can do for you. The next day, as I walked into the coffee shop, I saw John sitting at the corner table. We exchanged the pleasantries, and then he got straight to the point. I know what Carol is going through, he said, because I've been there too. Now, I have to admit, I was more than just a bit shocked, because I'd always known John to be the picture of health and energy. And I thought to myself, there was no way he could have lung issues. But I was wrong. Because before I could say anything, John reached into his wallet and pulled out an old photo, which he then handed to me. It was him, but a different version of him. In the picture, he looked old and tired, and his eyes lacked the sparkle they had now. And most dramatically of all, in the old photo, I saw that John was hooked up to a portable oxygen machine. John went on to explain that his lung condition had been so severe his doctor said he would need to be tethered to a portable oxygen tank for the rest of his life. He described struggling just to get dressed or make breakfast without descending into a wheezing fit. Simple tasks like taking a shower would leave him gasping for air. At night, John would jolt awake, choking on mucus, his lungs starved of oxygen. John coughed up thick phlegm daily and had to pause to catch his breath in mid-sentence when talking. He felt like a burden to his family, no longer able to keep up on walks or play with his grandkids. Yet, miraculously, just 5 years later, John was more active than ever. even taken up jogging in his late 50s, which would have been unthinkable during his oxygen tank days when he could barely cross the living room without doubling over fighting for air. I was stunned as John recounted his dramatic recovery. He had somehow regained perfect lung capacity and endless stamina in just a few years. Clearly, something remarkable had changed his life. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I asked John, what had changed? To my surprise, he told me that it wasn't drugs, surgery, or anything like that. John told me about a really special doctor he met who was doing things differently for people with lungs and breathing problems. This doctor wasn't your usual lung doctor. He'd spent almost 20 years in Boston running one of the most prestigious lung institutes in the world. Super skilled, he had studied at one of the best medical schools in the US. John explained that this doctor had a new way of helping people. He didn't just give them medicine or tell them they needed surgery. He believed in offering real and lasting solutions. Everything this doctor did was based on the new research from Harvard and Johns Hopkins. Then he jotted down some information on a piece of paper and handed it to me. Reach out to this guy. I know he can help Carol, he said. Now, I have to admit, although after meeting with John I was hopeful, I couldn't help but to still feel a little skeptical. But when I told Carol about what had happened, she gave me a weak smile and said, well, what do we have to lose? And so the next morning, I found myself dialing the number John had given me. My heart pounded in my chest as I waited for someone to pick up. On the other end, a warm voice greeted me. Hello, this is Dr. Stanley Peters. I introduced myself and explained my situation. I told him all about Carol and her struggles, along with how John from church had recommended him. There was a long pause. Then Dr. Peters suggested that Carol and I come see him. He thought it would be much easier to explain everything in person. So, right then and there, I made an appointment, and 2 days later, we were sitting in his home office. Dr. Peters was a very fit man with a neatly trimmed white beard who appeared to be in his early 60s. He told us that before he retired and moved back to Texas to be nearer to his grandchildren, he had dedicated 17 long years spearheading one of the world's most prestigious lung health research centers in Boston. And after telling the doctor everything that Carol had been through, the medications, the inhalers, and the breathing treatments, and how none of them were helping, Dr. Peters went quiet for a minute. Then he said something that really surprised us both. You know, all of this is really just because of your stiff lungs, Carol. Carol and I exchanged puzzled glances. Stiff lungs? What did he mean? And seeing the confusion on our faces, Dr. Peters explained it. He said, much like how your joints become stiff and less flexible with age, so do the structures of your lungs. He explained that your lungs are full of millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli. Working together, these alveoli make your lungs function somewhat like a sponge, pulling in the vital oxygen as you breathe. They also push out harmful toxins and carbon dioxide when you exhale. But then he shared what top experts at Harvard Medical School have discovered when we experience difficulty breathing, succumb to bouts of coughing, or struggle to clear mucus from our lungs. It's generally because these tiny sacs of tissues have become rigid and stiff, much like our joints do when they're plagued with arthritic pain. In essence, the flexibility of the alveoli that once allowed for the easy exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, much like our limber joints in youth, stiffen over time. Functionality is compromised, resulting in discomfort and difficulty in performing what were once effortless tasks. This means they are no longer able to fill up with oxygen like they could before, and they also aren't able to clear out toxins, dust, and the other irritants found in the air we're breathing. In other words, your lungs get stiff. They go from acting like a brand new sponge, healthy, clean, and able to absorb lots of oxygen, to looking and acting more like a dirty old sponge. An old sponge gets saturated with bacteria, chunks of food, and other gunk. When your lungs become stiff, they have a really hard time clearing out dusts, toxins, and pollutants, which is why, in addition to feeling like it's a struggle to breathe, you also notice that there's more and more mucus and phlegm building in your lungs over time. And this is why the back of your throat can begin to feel like it's always irritated too, leading to constant coughing fits as your body tries desperately to get rid of all this bad stuff out of your airways. Look, you can see what Dr. Peters was talking about here. On the left is what normal and healthy lung tissue looks like, while on the right, you can see how these little sacs are shriveling and shrinking up as your lungs become dirty and stiff. According to Dr. Peters, the problem here isn't just that you struggle to breathe or cough or have lots of phlegm. The scarier problem is when your lungs aren't able to clear out carbon dioxide, dust, and other toxins like they should, becoming a breeding ground for harmful viruses and bacteria. Because blood circulates through your lungs, this means all these harmful and toxic poisons are constantly being pushed out to your vital organs in ever higher quantities, where they cause endless damage, leaving you feeling and looking tired, old, and worn down, and putting you at risk of all kinds of long-term illnesses too. Isn't that shocking? Carol had been to over a dozen experts, and none of them had mentioned anything about stiff lungs to her before. And yet, as Dr. Peters showed us, there were thousands of studies from major universities across the United States, all saying that this was the real culprit behind most people's coughing, wheezing, mucus buildup, and trouble breathing. Doctors at the Ohio State University Medical School were talking about it. Experts at Johns Hopkins were trying to warn the public, and it had been captivating the attention of experts at Harvard Medical School for years. Now that Dr. Peters had finished explaining everything to us, I found myself wrestling with two questions. Number one, what causes your lungs to stiffen in the first place? And number two, what, if anything, can we do about it? Dr. Peters explained that while aging and lifestyle choices can contribute to the stiffening of our lungs, the primary reason was something completely unexpected. He told me that according to numerous researchers and scientists, lung stiffness is caused by our modern indoor-centric lifestyles. Have you ever noticed that your breathing seems easier when you're outside in the fresh air? And that it seems to worsen instantly when you go inside, he asked? Well, according to Dr. Peters, when you're outside, your lungs are exposed to a wide range of temperatures, humidity levels, and air pressures. These conditions help keep your lungs flexible and resilient. This is why our breathing is generally better when we're outside. But unlike our ancestors from even a few generations ago, many of whom lived outdoors as farmers or at least spent much of their time walking outdoors, today we work, eat, and sleep in climate-controlled boxes at home, the office, and in our cars. The air barely changes, and this lack of variation in air conditionings causes lungs tissue to weaken over time. It's no wonder that lung issues like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a condition characterized by stiff lungs, have increased by 52% in America since the early 1970s. Dr. Peters said we're spending more time indoors than ever before. And then he mentioned how for those few groups of people who still did spend plenty of time outside, it was no coincidence that virtually none of them had any breathing issues or lung issues. For example, just look at the legendary Sherpas of Nepal, who have almost superhuman lung capacities and virtually zero lung diseases into their 80s, 90s, and beyond. Researchers even refer to them as real-life X-Men. And then there are the Baju people of Indonesia, who spend virtually all their time outside and who can hold their breaths for up to 13 minutes. And according to Dr. Peters, it all comes down to how much time these native groups spend outside compared to the rest of us, which keeps their lungs healthy and clear. What we could do about any of this, Dr. Peters continued. He said that one really good piece of advice was for people to try to spend at least 30 minutes breathing fresh air every day. But for most people who have been suffering for a while, the damage has already been done and needs to be reversed, which was why he had worked tirelessly to create an even more effective and proven answer for those who were struggling with congested lungs, chronic coughs, and difficulty breathing. This was something that was completely painless and natural, and it didn't cost a fortune either. Instead, it was something Dr. Peters referred to as his African lung mist trick, since several of the star ingredients came from the pristine and very remote regions of the African continent, and it was something that restored flexibility to your lungs, allowing them to expand and absorb oxygen once again, while also being able to contract and squeeze out carbon dioxide and other toxins with 99% efficiency. Dr. Peters said that in virtually every patient he'd given this solution to, including John from church, he'd seen outstanding results because this solution didn't just temporarily relieve symptoms. It restored lung health by regenerating flexible, youthful lung tissue, clearing chest congestion and mucus, and eliminating the thick phlegm that leaves you choking and breathless. But most surprisingly of all, Dr. Peters said that this entire solution was based on a group of specific natural compounds, each of which has been proven in multiple scientific studies to penetrate deep into your lungs, enhancing their flexibility and elasticity. And I'm going to go ahead and share them with you right now. That way you can start using these ingredients too. The first compound Dr. Peters recommended is umkalaobo extract. Umkalaobo is an ancient natural remedy from South Africa that can help you get deep, full breaths without painful hacking fits and congestion. Local tribes have relied on umkalaobo's healing properties for generations, dubbing it the breath of life. Now, modern clinical studies are confirming its ability to rapidly purify your lungs and restore their function. Within just 1 week of trying umkalaobo extracts, people struggling with chronic coughs and breathing issues experience 50% less severe bouts of coughing. By day 10, over 78% reported being completely free of all symptoms and able to breathe normally again. Others felt their nagging, wheezing, and excess mucus dissolve, their airways opening up more week by week. They were finally able to inhale fully without obstruction, some for the first time in over a decade. This medicinal plant works by penetrating deep into your lungs to improve the flexibility of the tiny air sacs that have stiffened over time. With improved lung flexibility, you'll finally be able to laugh freely or sing without lapsing into minute-long coughing fits. You'll have the energy and capacity to play with your kids or grandkids without getting winded. Mucus will no longer build up uncontrollably, and your coughing will ease. You'll breathe easy in public without wheezing attacks or feeling self-conscious. You'll finally be able to breathe deeply, sleep soundly through the night, and feel like your old energetic self again, thanks to this proven African remedy. Next, Dr. Peters said that he recommended Hedra helix, a remarkable ivy extract harvested from the rare species grown only in the most pristine regions of Central Europe. He explains that unlike the typical ivy you see growing on walls, Hedra helix contains unique phytochemicals with incredible lung health repairing properties. And he also told us that multiple clinical studies have shown how this extract also improves lung flexibility and respiratory health. For example, a study in the scientific report found that Hedra helix reduced chronic bronchitis symptoms by 86%, while another trial found that 56.2% of the people became cough-free in 3 weeks using Hedra helix. And the 2022 NIH study found compelling proof that Hedra helix could bring damaged lungs back to life by repairing the harm that had been done by years of breathing in toxins and pollutants, while drastically increasing the amount of oxygen you can take in with each breath. So, between just umkalaobo extract and Hedra helix alone, I hope you can see how your lungs really can become dramatically more elastic and flexible, and how you could soon be able to once again take deep, full breaths of air without your chest tightening up, while no longer feeling winded or triggered whenever you go for a walk or need to climb a flight of stairs, and sleep soundly through the night, because there are no more coughing fits that keep you or your partner awake. That's what these two powerful extracts can do, at least when you get them in the right form. And things get even better when you combine them with the next one Dr. Peters told us about, which is pure mullein extract, a remarkable herb sourced from the unspoiled meadows of the Swiss Alps. He explained that unlike the common mullein you'll find growing wild, this rare variant contains an abundance of lung-healing compounds that can't be found elsewhere. And he said that mullein extract builds on the rejuvenating effects of those first two compounds by acting like a fortifying tonic for your lungs to enhance their flexibility and function. This time-tested remedy has been used for centuries to soothe pulmonary issues, treat respiratory infections, and rehabilitate damaged lung tissue. And Dr. Peters told us that in a major study published in the highly respected journal BMC Complementary and Alternative Medicine, a team of leading pulmonary experts found that mullein extract could relax contracted airway muscles by up to a whopping 68%, which means taking this special nutrient is like a yoga session for your lungs, something that helps them to stretch and breathe more easily. And he told us that there were over 30 major clinical studies, all showing that mullein improves breathing, helps oxygenate the lungs, clears out mucus, and destroys bad bacteria and viruses that love to set up shop inside your lungs. In addition to pharmaceutical-grade umkalaoba, Hedra helix, and mullein, Dr. Peters told us that his formula also packed a punch of coltsfoot, an ancient European superherb revered for its ability to repair lung damage. and he showed us cutting-edge research published in Sage Journal, which proved coltsfoot drastically improved lung flexibility, especially in people who are older and whose lungs are dry and stiff. Next, he said his formula included a special enzyme, serratiopeptidase, and we were shocked to see a recent study published in the Journal of Respirology found that this enzyme could dissolve mucus and phlegm, even reducing the total weight of this sludgy gunk in your lungs by up to 35%. While another study found that serratiopeptidase was able to reduce the severity and frequency of chronic coughs by over 44%. Then Dr. Peters said that he also recommended we use a very specific form of peppermint oil because study after study in journals like Respiratory Medicine have proven that this one type of peppermint can expand lung capacity, clear out mucus, and drastically improve coughs. And finally, he said that you should also take a robust dose of highly bioactive vitamin D3 because major clinical research published in places like the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Immunology have found that this specific form of D3 could help eliminate lung irritation while boosting our resistance to the airborne pathogens and toxins that we breathe in. And by the time he was done sharing this all-star team of science-backed lung savers, it was clear to me that Dr. Peters had created something special, a solution that works from the inside out, going deep into the lungs to increase their flexibility and elasticity while restoring your lung health on a cellular level. Now, the only question was if this solution could actually work for Carol. Based on all the scientific research and all the studies we'd seen showing how effective these compounds were at reversing the effects of stiff lung, it seemed like it should. But I'd also seen Carol be let down so many times before, and I didn't want either of us to get our hopes up. Dr. Peters must have sensed my hesitation because he leaned toward Carol and gently said, "I know this all sounds almost too good to be true after everything you've been through, but I promise you, this really is different." Then he handed her a bottle filled with tablets that he said contained a precise blend of each of the compounds he'd just described. And he instructed Carol to take one tablet a day, preferably in the morning, and to get back to him in a month with an update. So the next morning, as we sat together at our breakfast table, Carol took her first tablet and a wave of hope washed over us. After the first few days, we didn't notice much change, but I reassured Carol that restoring flexibility to her lungs after years of damage would take some time. We remained patient and optimistic as she kept taking the tablets each morning. And about 7 days in, the clouds began to part. It started when I saw Carol stroll from the living room to the kitchen without gasping for breath. Then later that day, I noticed how she had sailed up the stairs to grab something from the bedroom without gripping the railing or sucking in air. Soon, her wheezing and coughing fits grew less frequent while we were watching our evening shows. The chronic tightness in her chest had started to relent, and as the days turned to weeks, the changes became undeniable. Carol was taking full, easy breaths for the first time in ages. The mucus she had constantly choked on was vanishing. Her energy levels were rising like the morning sun. Our friends began to notice and remark on the changes too. They were thrilled to chat with Carol without her lapsing into painful coughing fits. They said she looked more vibrant and well-rested than they'd seen her in years. And as the weeks turned into months, Carol's coughing and wheezing disappeared entirely. Now her lungs were functioning better than they had in years. She was breathing freely, deeply, and easily once again. And the best of all was Carol's triumphant return to the church choir. The director was shocked when Carol had called, but there she was, singing song after beautiful song with her crystal soprano voice, without a single cough. When Carol stepped forward to sing a solo at Easter service, the look of pure joy on her face brought tears to my eyes. She sang every word flawlessly, her voice ringing out pure and strong like a long-lost friend. After members of the congregation came up to Carol raving about the flawless performance, they were amazed at the power and clarity of her voice, and even more so by her transformation from the wheezing woman who used to have coughing fits on stage to this confident virtuoso, hitting each note pitch perfectly. After seeing all these amazing results, I knew I had to share Dr. Peters' breakthrough with as many people as possible. So I decided to call him. "Dr. Peters," I began, my voice shaking slightly. "What you created changed Carol's life. She can breathe easily, she's more active, and she's happier than ever. We can't keep this to ourselves. Can we make this available to everyone?" There was a pause, and I could feel my heart pounding. To my immense relief, he agreed. Dr. Peters said that while he'd only intended to share this formula he discovered with his private patients on a small scale, recently he'd been spending more and more time wondering if he was really doing enough, when this was getting people from all walks of life such remarkable results. Let's do it, he said. So we embarked on a mission to find a manufacturing partner who could respect the strict requirements and handle these lung health restoring ingredients with care. We spent months sourcing the purest forms of these compounds, using our large orders to access even higher grade ingredients typically reserved for advanced research labs. Then we reached out to individuals in online forums who had shared their struggles with lung condition, chronic coughs, mucus buildup, and the constant fear of losing their independence, to find volunteers who would try out our discovery. In total, we had over 143 people say they wanted to be initial testers of what we'd created, and the response was overwhelming. Take George in Oklahoma, for example.
For years, I struggled with constant cough and mucus buildup. I found it hard to breathe, was always tired, and I couldn't keep up with my grandkids. But after trying this formula, I found significant improvement. I can breathe easier, and I'm starting to go on walks again. Thank you.
And Susan in Wyoming.
At first, I was skeptical, but this formula is a game changer. The tightness in my chest has eased, and I no longer wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air. I feel like I have a whole new lease on life.
Along with Dennis in Ohio.
I've had lung issues for as long as I can remember. Simple tasks like playing golf would leave me breathless, but this formula has transformed my life. I can breathe easier, and I'm no longer dependent on an inhaler. I can't thank you enough.
Hearing these success stories filled us with joy. And now we're thrilled to give you the opportunity to join these folks by offering you the chance to experience this lung health repairing secret for yourself. We named it Lung Expand Pro, the ultimate solution for those who have been struggling with lung conditions, chronic cough, mucus, wheezing, and chest tightness. This potent formula is designed to enhance the flexibility and elasticity of your lung tissues, restoring your lung health on a cellular level. It starts to work from the moment you begin using it. Within a few days, you'll notice a distinct difference in your breathing. Your chronic cough will begin to subside. The mucus and phlegm that seem to be trapped in your lungs will start to dissolve. You'll find it easier to take deep, satisfying breaths, and the wheezing and chest tightness that have been your constant companion will begin to fade. The world will seem brighter, filled with possibilities, because your struggle to breathe no longer isolates you or restricts your activities. Just take 1 tablet per day, and that's all it takes to restore your lung health and vitality. We only use the purest ingredients in this lung health breakthrough. Each ingredient is tested and certified for purity by independent labs to ensure the highest quality. This means that this breakthrough doesn't contain toxins like pollutants or harmful metals, and it's crafted with care and precision in a cutting-edge facility that adheres to all FDA regulations and good manufacturing practices, GMP. This lung health breakthrough is also proudly made in the USA. It's no wonder that since we released it, it's been flying off the shelves. In just 4 months, we have sold over 71,228 bottles, and the number is climbing every day. People all over the USA who have been struggling with lung conditions and breathing problems finally have a natural solution that works, and they're spreading the word to their friends and family. But with such high demand, it's only a matter of time before we run out. And since our premium natural ingredients are sourced from all over the world, restocking does take time. That's why it's crucial that you secure your supply of this lung health formula right now. The last thing we want is for you to interrupt your treatment before your lungs have been fully restored, because in that case, your lungs will revert to their stiff, rigid state. In fact, our customers report the best results after using the lung health breakthrough for at least 180 days. This gives you the best chance of restoring your lung health while ensuring that your lungs remain flexible and efficient for years to come. Don't let your lung issues win. Secure your supply today and say goodbye to the frustration and limitations of chronic lung conditions. We've done everything we can to make this lung health formula affordable to every American who needs it. After sourcing the best ingredients, overseeing production, and keeping costs low, I'm proud to offer you this game-changing breakthrough at the lowest possible price. You'll never have to spend your hard-earned money on yet another failed treatment that only addresses the symptoms, not the root cause. And you can say goodbye to invasive lung treatments that most doctors want to push on you even when the results aren't guaranteed. I'm going to reveal just how affordable this treatment can be in just a moment. But first, I need to let you know something. This lung rejuvenation breakthrough is exclusively available on this website and only while supplies last. We have no intention of mass producing this solution because we understand that it would inevitably compromise its quality. We will only produce as much as we can personally oversee. So if you come across this lung rejuvenation formula anywhere other than this website, be aware it's not the genuine article. We will never sell this formula in physical stores or online shops because we wouldn't be able to ensure the high quality control we insist on at that scale. This breakthrough can rehabilitate your lungs now and maintain their health and vitality for years to come. You can finally bid farewell to costly temporary solutions that merely mask the reality of your deteriorating lung health. And instead, you can achieve a near-perfect lung function day after day. Imagine no longer struggling for breath after a short walk or coughing uncontrollably from the mucus buildup in your lungs, and feeling the relief that comes from being able to enjoy a deep, satisfying breath or the pleasure of a full night's sleep without wheezing or chest tightness interrupting your rest. With this breakthrough, you'll never miss another breath. So just think of how wonderful it would be to feel like your old self again and to see the smile and relief of the faces of those you love. Wouldn't that make you feel so much more connected to friends, family, and even the world around you? When you invest in this lung rejuvenation breakthrough today, you'll pay less than you would for a short doctor's visit, painful diagnostic procedure, inhalers, or medication. Yet, unlike any of those approaches, this breakthrough formula is what I believe to be a real chance for transforming your lung health for good. Plus, when you consider the fact that there's only one facility in the world that meets our stringent quality control standards to ensure that each bottle contains the purest and most potent form of these ingredients on the planet, today's special low price is a steal, because this isn't about profit margins. This is about reclaiming and revitalizing your lung health and the lung health of all the people like you who are struggling with persistent coughs, wheezing, and chest tightness, and who fear that if they don't act soon, they'll end up even more exhausted and breathless. That's why I've negotiated relentlessly to bring you this solution for as low as $1.50 per day. Yes, for our most discounted package, you will spend less than $2 a day and bid farewell to your lung problems forever. But this special discounted package is only available today on this website and while stocks last. It's the deepest discount we've ever offered, and we're only doing this because we know how life-changing this will be for you. For 6 bottles of this lung health repairing breakthrough, you'll invest only $49 per bottle. This is the right quantity to truly restore your lung health by restoring the flexibility of your alveoli and ensuring that they stay soft and elastic forever so your breathing never worsens again. But that's not all, because when you order the discounted 3-month or 6-month package, you'll also get free shipping, which is an additional savings of $9.95. Plus, if you choose your package right now, you will risk absolutely nothing because we want you to be certain that this lung miracle is right for you. We offer every single person a 60-day money-back guarantee. That means you have a full 60 days to test drive this lung health repairing formula for yourself. But if for any reason you're not 100% satisfied with your order, simply contact our friendly support staff. Send back all the bottles, including the empty ones, and they'll promptly issue a refund. Moreover, if you buy our 6-bottle package and your breathing improves sooner than expected, feel free to send us back the bottles you haven't used, and you'll get the money back for every single one of them. Even though if I were you, I would save them for my family or friends. That is how confident we are that this solution can do wonders. To put it plainly, if for any reason you're not thrilled with our solution, you pay nothing. That's just how I believe business should be done. Either you love our product or you don't pay a penny. What could be simpler than that? And because you're covered by our 60-day no-hassle money-back guarantee, why not take advantage of our 6-month highly discounted package? It really is the smartest option. I mean, you're protected either way. If you love this lung health transforming miracle, you're locked into our lowest rate of less than $2 per day, saving more than anybody else. And if this lung health repairing formula doesn't work for you, then you simply ask for a refund and lose nothing. no matter what happens, you truly only have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Plus, when you choose the optimum quantity of our lung rejuvenating formula today, I'm going to also include 2 bonus books worth $109 absolutely free. So today only, when you invest in a 6-month supply of this lung rejuvenation breakthrough, you'll also receive a free copy of Sleep Apnea Solutions, 9 quick fixes to stop snoring and breathe easily all night. Inside, you'll discover the ancient Egyptian pharaoh trick that completely stops snoring and opens airways for peaceful sleep. Why leading sleep doctors say eating this one unusual jungle fruit each morning can drastically improve your sleep apnea fast. This wildly popular over-the-counter medication that makes snoring and sleep apnea worse, especially if you take it at night. This one will definitely surprise you. Plus, forget counting sheep. This 30-second bedtime visualization technique works 5 times better to help you fall into a deep, uninterrupted sleep. You'll find all that and more inside this ebook. It's yours free when you order the discounted 6-month package. And then the second free book I'll be sharing with you today is truly special. It's called The Heart Health Blueprint: Unclog Arteries and Prevent Heart Attacks in 30 Days. Let's face it, lung and heart health go hand in hand. So inside you'll discover not just a step-by-step 1-month plan for significantly improving your heart health, but also the strange folk remedy from Western Appalachia that helps widen blood vessels for better circulation using just 2 common kitchen ingredients. How 3 20-second stretches before bed can boost circulation by 73% and help you wake up energized. The nighttime berry snack that is proven to remove plaque buildup in arteries and improve circulation to the heart by up to 46%, as well as the pre-bedtime self-massage ritual that optimizes blood flow to the brain and enhance cognitive function. Both guides are yours free when you buy the 6-pack on sale, and you'll get access to them immediately. But both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are limited. If we run out of this lung health repairing formula, it might take us months to restock. So select the 6-bottle package or any other package below this video right now to secure your order. This is truly one of the smartest and most important investments you'll ever make to repair and protect your lung health for years to come. So given everything I have shared with you, I am sure you must be really eager to experience this formula for yourself. All you have to do to claim your discount is simply click on the button below now and order the 6-month supply or whichever amount makes the most sense to you. After you've selected your package, you'll be taken to our secure order page where you can fill in your shipping information and payment information. We will use the same professional grade 256-bit encryption technology as places like Amazon, eBay, and Walmart, so you'll be confident your information is safe with us. Once you hit enter, you'll land on our confirmation page, which will carefully explain exactly what you can expect with your order. Now, I must warn you, sometimes we experience temporary out of stock. Obviously, we do our best to avoid this, but that's just the simple reality of trying to get a product like this out to so many people, placing big orders all at once. You don't have to worry though, because as long as you're watching this video right now and don't see any out of stock icons popping up anywhere, then we still have bottles of this lung health restoration formula left in stock. But I really wanted to make this note for you because I can't say for sure when we might run out of stock next. And I don't want you to be in the unfortunate situation where you fall in love with this lung health repairing formula only to come back to this page a month later to find that it's completely sold out. So that's just one last reason why our 6-month option is our most popular. Because not only will you get the full benefit of this lung health repairing formula, but you will also have plenty of time to place the follow-up order when you choose to do so. Just go ahead and order the 6-month supply or whatever makes the most sense to you. You're the only one who can take that first step towards a new life free from constant coughing, wheezing, and chest tightness. And if for any reason you still feel a little on the fence, then I have to ask you, please don't let fear or doubt hold you back, because you're 100% safe and protected. And when you really think about it, what's the alternative? I can only imagine all of the failed solutions you've tried in the past that left you feeling frustrated, anxious, and hopeless. I know, because I am sure I've tried every single one of them myself. But now you have something completely different right in front of you. You could leave this page right now after hearing everything I've shared, but what will change? You'll just end up back on that hamster wheel of disappointments. Another prescription for an inhaler, the discomfort of going to the doctor and finding out that your lungs are getting worse, feeling scared as the wheezing and chest tightness continue to increase, or the mucus and phlegm in your lungs becomes thicker. The way it affects your daily activity, your ability to enjoy life. The world's becoming more and more tiring. You and I both know that's no way to live. This is why I am now reaching out my hand to offer you a way out. You don't even have to say yes. All you have to do is say maybe. You could be just moments away from feeling like you've got a new lease on life. A life that's filled with deep, easy breaths, where you enjoy every moment without the constant struggle to breathe, and where you live each day feeling like you're in control. All of that and more could be on just the other side of this page. And while whatever you decide is entirely up to you, I truly do hope you make the right choice and restore your lung health for good. All you have to do to get started is just choose your package from below right now, and I'll see you on the other side to help you continue your journey. Regardless of your choice, I want to thank you personally for taking the time to watch this presentation. I wish you all the health and happiness in the world. Still there? Look, I know I just covered a lot, so let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions I get. How does the lung health transforming formula work again? As I mentioned, the key is restoring flexibility to your lung tissue. Over time, the tiny air sacs in our lungs lose elasticity and become stiff. This helps them regain their flexibility and ability to fully expand and contract with each breath. More elastic lungs clear out mucus easily and let you take in more oxygen. This soothes coughs, wheezing, tightness in the chest, and allows you to finally breathe freely again. Who should take this lung health transforming formula? I recommend it to anyone over 50 who has experienced reduced lung function, excess mucus or phlegm, chronic coughs, wheezing, or shortness of breath. Even if you don't have full-blown COPD yet, this formula can help bring back youthful lung elasticity before further damage occurs. And the natural ingredients are safe for long-term use. What happens after I click the button below? Once you choose your package, you'll go to our secure checkout page. Just enter your details to complete your order. There's no auto billing. Your lung health transforming formula will arrive in 5 to 7 business days in discreet packaging. Then you'll be less than a week away from breathing more deeply, coughing less, and feeling like your old self again. What if it doesn't work for me? No problem. Your order is covered by a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just start using the lung health transforming formula daily. If you don't notice improvement in your breathing and lung function, let us know. We'll refund every penny back. There is zero risk to trying it out. How long will this formula be available? That's hard to say. Demand has been very high since this presentation went live. We source the highest quality ingredients, which can be challenging nowadays, and we refuse to cut corners. I can't guarantee supplies will last, so it's important to invest in your breathing today, especially with our 60-day money-back guarantee. Alright, I want to try it. Now what? Click one of the buttons below to select your package. The 6-bottle option gives you the lowest price per bottle. However, choose the amount that makes sense for you. On the next page, fill out your details to complete the checkout process. Your order of lung health transforming formula will arrive within 5 to 7 business days. And please feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. I'm always happy to help. This presentation is now ending. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. Go ahead and choose your package now to repair your lungs and breathe freely again.